dried off, so let's see if we can now pull it together. I use that term because at the moment it looks a bit of a mess, to be honest, in my eye. But the thing is, you can't completely repeat anything when you're working in this wet and freestyle. And I often think I'm getting more in love with the actual process of what the paints are doing than the actual picture at the end of it. But we've got some beautiful blooms here, gorgeous shapes here as well. It's really lovely, which if you want to fiddle, you could really get involved with those. But whilst I ended the last one, I did dampen, lift off rather, a few bits because it was getting a very puddly effect. So I've just dabbed out with a bit of, kitchen paper, some of these areas. So let's see, what I'm going to do first, I think really so we can see a bit more of what's happening. Let's join this up and make it look a bit more like a tree. And by that I mean I'm going in with some branches. I'm using this chisel, as you can see, which really does give you some great marks. And of course they come in different widths and thicknesses, but already you can see that this is starting to just form a bit of shape. Now the shade is that side, so let's just make that a little bit darker. I want it stronger than that. So again, we've got a tree here. And you don't always have to go into the white bits, you can go into colour on top of colour as well. And here I had lots of other little trees going on, so I'm going to put some more there. I need to top up my pans a bit. Okay, let's make that a bit interesting. Make that a bit bigger. Put a few more bits in. So it is starting to look a bit more like autumn trees. And this is where you say, yes, Nicola, it does, doesn't it? I was just making some marks. Now that's all got a bit to do with that brush, so I need to do something to break that up a little bit. And if you flatten this down to make it very fine, it's got a nice curve on it now, so I can use that to my advantage. Okay, I'm going back with the big brush to put some more green here, and some of this green gold. I want to break, I love that, don't know how it happened, can't remember, so I'm just going to run some green gold along here and just bring some bits up. I softened all that out, but now I'm going back in again just to make a little bit brighter colour there, and just to redefine a bit of shape. And I'm coming back with some of the burnt umber underneath. These little clumps where some of the dying leaves will be, just to define some of those clumps there. So this is still fairly dense down here. A bit more orange. A lot of water just added in there. Now that's gone a bit too much like that, hasn't it? So let's just plop some bits up here. And go back. Let some of those run in. Don't like that. You don't like it? See if you can rub it out. Now what I've done with this painting is I've got a lot more paint on and less open space, less white area than I had there. So that's where the difference is. So this looks much more like a clump of trees rather than this one where you've got a tree and then you've got a bit in the distance. But that's okay. I'm just going to soften some bits out and make some marks with this. And then when I think that's dry, when it is dry, we will have a interesting little painting with a nice autumn feel, and I may well just do a little bit of tweaking at last minute. So I hope you've enjoyed doing that, or watching me do it. Let's just soften those off, that's better. And I'd like to see you do your autumn trees, please. Please share them. It's always nice to see what other people do. And I'll see you in another quick little painting session with Painting with Nicola.